Congratulations are once again due for the amazing John Lamont, who your Kickstarter is what, $13,000? What's it pacing? You're gonna break 20 this time, right?
I should. I'm already at 15.3.
That's insane.
That's great.
He's the most successful writer I know. I have people coming to me saying, "How can I write like John Lamont?"
I don't know if
you should create some seminars or something.
that is funny because I do conventions and people aren't asking me about sitting in their what do you call it, their panels to do comics and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you even volunteered for any of those?
No, I'm too busy working my table.
Yeah, and I've worked some cons where they've come by and like, hey, do you want to do a panel? And I'm like, no, I don't.
Why don't you want to do a panel?
Well, because as I explained to them, it's me. I'm here, and you're asking me to step away from this table where I'm expecting to generate a fair amount of income and stand and talk to like 20 people for an hour as a portion of other people talking.
That's why you have a person at your table.
Oh yeah, I brought by this little pocket monster. Here's Pikachu will man my table while I go off. Like it's just me, So
yeah, like somebody else is going to be as passionate about your story and
right.
getting it sold. I mean, or they're just going to sit there and say, "Oh, he's at a panel. He'll be back in an hour."
Yeah, so like I didn't want to forgo the sales, and I'm like, and what's the point of talking about like whatever the latest Marvel movie is or something? Like I don't give a shit. Like
even if it's a how to succeed as an indie comic creator, it's like, well, I mean, it's not that complicated.
It's not. Yeah, just put out,
just write.
Yeah,
right.
It's really just do it.
Yes.
And I mean, I have those conversations with people at shows all the time. They walk up and they ask me, "What do you do and how do you do it?" And I'm like, "This is what I do."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I write a script. I try to make it good as possible. I hire some artists. I put it up on Kickstarter.
Yeah, I make money. That's what I do.
So I can get funding for it.
Yeah.
And
that's that. Yeah. So John, I think you're the most successful.
I gotta just get John to run my next Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Change literally nothing. Just have John run it, and I'm sure it'll do great.
Anyway,
I don't know, man. I mean, look at Angel of Darkness 5 compared to Spirit of the Dragon 5. Spirit of the Dragon 5 made in 3 days what Angel of Darkness made in 3 weeks.
Yeah, you mastered the formula. I'm saying.
It's not all just who's doing it.
I'm okay with 10,000 American dollars. I could live with that.
All right. Fair enough. So
hire Garvey and have Whiskey Paint do a sexy cover.
Yeah.
And maybe Emerald Weapon.
I am going to be developing the Demon Schoolgirl project some more.
All right, cool. Yes, embrace that you're making boobs and.
Oh no, I totally am. It's yeah. It is.
I mean, look at
covers for days.
Yeah.
Look at my biggest performing covers have been Sexy Teachers, Sexy Schoolgirls, and now Nico covers.
Really?
Yeah, Emerald Weapon is blowing up. I'm having her do another furry cover for me. I know technically it's not furry, but
yeah, Nico's not really furry.
Yeah. Oh boy.
There's just like little cat ears on people.
Little cat ears on girls with boobs.
Yeah, like big boobs.
It's just like the girls with little cat ears.
Yeah.
So that's literally what Nico is.
Okay.
I mean, maybe they'll have furry paws, kitten paws.
Okay.
But generally, no.
Right. Well, let's go read this story that has nothing to do with any of those things.
Nope.
Well, no, it does because it's a John Lamont story.
Sort of.
Well, let's find out what is gone in here.
All right.
Apparently, it just has a bunch of witches.
Who? John, choose your narrator.
Danny narrate.
Danny,
Pyramids, Egypt, Dusk, Panel 1. The SMS Ernst von Hefner descends, casting a shadow over the field tents set up on the pyramid side of a massive dig site. Panel 2. Mueller leads several armed German soldiers across the sand toward the expedition chief's tent. Dr. Meyer, a pale, gangly man with a raspy voice, waves them inside. Background. The airship hovers off the ground, gangplank closing.
Dr. Meyer, tell me the good news.
Panel 3, Interior Expedition Chief's tent. Jezidra, wearing her Zulu dress, stands by the minibar pouring a drink. Background. Meyer leads Mueller inside.
Please forgive the doctor. He has a severe case of the strep.
Panel 4. Jezidra hands Mueller the drink.
Oh, actually, Diane, I forgot you were here. Do you want to read for Jezidra?
Oh, okay. So
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You must be parched from your journey.
Page 7, Panel 1. Interior Expedition Chief's tent, dusk. Jezidra looks into Mueller's empty hand, reading his palm. Mueller likes what she says.
Oh, I sense a strength in you, supernatural strength. Truly, you have the God's blessing.
Even the false gods of this cane-cursed land recognize the great calling of the Swatsasone. Did I say that correctly?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Okay. I did my best.
That's very John Lamont. Let's just use a language we don't know. And Google Translate has it under control.
Yeah.
No, this actually is not. It means black sun, and it's actually a Nazi flag. It's a variation of the Nazi flag, which I kind of turned into their evil cult.
Like the Hail Hydra thing.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, Hail Hydra. Yeah.
A random gig worker rushes inside.
Doctor, come now.
Panel 3. Exterior dig site, dusk. Swinging pickaxes. Several of the workers break through hard stone, revealing an underground cavern. Meyer looks into the hole, pointing.
Inside.
How am I supposed to letter that? Bloody hell. Panel 4. Interior, mysterious chamber. 4 soldiers stand around the bottom of the opening on guard as Meyer and Mueller climb down the rope.
The air down here is bad. In German.
Page 8. Exterior dig site, dusk. Jezidra sits, legs crossed, eyes closed in a meditative stance. Panel 2. Interior, mysterious chamber. Meyer shambles down the hallway that's going to get drawn.
Yeah.
As Mueller and the 4 soldiers follow behind. Dirt-covered lights along the top of the walls cast eerie shadows.
The hot stone calls.
Speak sense, doctor.
Panel 2. Several German soldiers aim their machine guns at the silhouette of a tall humanoid figure sitting upon a chair.
You, put your hands up.
Didn't you have them actually speaking German before? Be consistent.
Well,
They
it
are.
says German. It says German.
Oh,
but-
yes.
Yeah,
I changed it because nobody knew what they were saying.
Yeah,
I don't
because
expect my
nobody in America speaks languages that aren't English.
Right,
Well,
so I
did you
changed it.
understand
You should be
German,
happy.
Danny? Were you like, oh, I know, I'm Canadian. I got
My German's really bad. I only know it because I know Old English and barely.
How you would do that is actually use like a font that it looks German, like a
No,
German.
you just use italics and pointy brackets like everybody else in comics.
It's just like what is
So
it?
We're going to
There's
do
already
fancy
a format
fonts
for
because I like
that.
fancy fonts.
That's
Much
that.
to Danny's chagrin, but that's okay. I'm the one funding this project.
That's fine. I'll take your
Alright.
money, whatever. Circling
We'll figure
around,
it out
they
later.
stand in shock, eyes wide. Seated upon the chair, the decaying skeleton. Are they decaying or are they skeletal? Make a decision.
I mean, look, I think I could understand that. That's kind of like meat rotting off bones, right?
Well, sure. But
Yeah.
Yes.
just say, some bits of mummified flesh keep the bones together.
Ah.
But it's not mummified.
Well, you're in Egypt, so just go with it. And mummifying is the drying process. It's not the wrapping process.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, because the decaying, I think of like The Walking Dead or something, like, kind of moist and soggy and like, infested.
Yeah, probably full of flies. This has been there for a while.
Yeah.
Actually, I think of like
But here in Egypt, it probably should be desiccated.
desiccated. That
Yeah.
would be that's how I saw
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
Desiccated and skeletal do go together.
They do, yes.
I don't know if that's going to translate to Portuguese.
I'm sure there's a word in Portuguese for all dried out.
It might be better to just say a dried out skeleton.
Yeah, maybe
No,
it
just say desiccated.
Because I think simple words will translate better when.
I think no.
It's a Romanized language.
Yeah,
they have a Latin term for
First off,
desiccate.
the shorter the word, the more slang uses there are for it. Like, look at the term cool. There are infinite uses of the term cool, sometimes in opposite senses. But if you use the term refrigerated, there's really only one use of refrigerated. So if you go to the longer, more precise term, it will translate far better.
Even fridged.
Yeah.
That's actually a term.
So it should be desiccated?
Desiccated.
Yes. The hands of the remains are wrapped around joystick controls mounted on the ends of the chair's armrests.
My God.
In German, that would be mein Gott.
Mein Gott. Yeah, now that's one where you could drop in some German right there.
Yeah.
Because we would understand what that meant.
Yeah. Meyer stands before a large black glass screen. Behind him, Mueller approaches.
The Hecate stone calls.
Doctor, also. That's fine the way it is, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I use it. Even in sentences that are in English, I still spell it in the German because it translates.
Page 9, interior, mysterious chamber. Panel 1. Meyer slams his fist against the black screen. Smack. That's my job. Panel 2, Meyer slams his fist again, cracking the glass.
Crack!
Mueller and... Why is there an SFX in the middle of an action line?
I don't know.
Because the action is related to him slamming his fist into the glass.
The thing is, right, is that what's going to happen is your illustrator is going to draw it, and it might be good, and it might not be, and that's fine. But then your illustrator is going to forget about all of the other direction because he's too busy drawing an SFX and the fist, which
he doesn't draw SFX. You do.
Look, if he doesn't draw SFX, you shouldn't put it in his section. You have to think that a team of people is going to
either it's the letterer's job or it's the illustrator's job.
Yeah, and the illustrator's just going to look at the one part and expect. So
it depends because I know illustrators that do the special.
I'm saying this might be interpreted as put this in the art, as opposed to letter this.
Okay.
So if you're having translation issues, don't create your own issues.
Yeah.
Mueller and Guard.
I didn't know that was a thing. I was putting it there because it was connected to the first part.
All right.
Guns pointed in all directions.
Diane, you can.
What is that?
Diane can do technical.
Tefneko is the name of the character.
Oh, that's a name?
It's the robot cat girl.
It's a robot cat girl.
Okay. Please cease this action immediately and vacate the premises.
Meyer punches through the glass wall, breaking every bone in his fist, tearing the flesh from his hand, exposing the bone underneath. Smash! Within arm's reach. Green glowing Hecate fusion core. It is nucleus, a Hecate stone housed within a crystal cylinder set in a copper harness.
The Hecate stone calls.
I don't think. Well, don't say I didn't warn you.
Panel 4. A Gatling laser drops from the ceiling. Someone's going to have to design that, John. Opening the fire. Heated plasma bolts rip through Meyer, blowing out massive chunks of flesh.
Pew,
pew, pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew.
Meyer's, panel 5, Meyer's bloodied flesh-torn hand rips the Hecate fusion core from It Is harness.
It is harness. Oh, man. Oh, my.
There's another page.
Right.
Panel 1.
Whatever. Yeah. Next
Standing
page.
in darkness, holding the Hecate Fusion Core zombie, Meyer grins as best
Oh,
he
I'm sorry.
Yeah, page.
as it is flesh hangs off its skull. The green glow casts eerie shadows through the smoke rising from still smoldering holes in his chest. You spelled smoldering the Canadian way. Panel
Yes.
2. Zombie Meyer faces down Mueller and the German soldiers who aim their rifles at Meyer. Flashlights mounted under the soldiers' rifles add additional light on Meyer, along with the heavy glow of the Hecate Fusion Core. Were flashlights a thing in World War II?
Flashing light.
They did have them.
Sure. I mean, they absolutely had flashlights. Yes. 100%.
Okay.
100%. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They've had flashlights for a while.
Yeah. In fact, I think
Yeah.
flashlights may have been a thing in World War One.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yeah, they were big and bulky, and
yeah,
but
yeah,
Yeah,
they,
they're
they weren't easy to use, but you had them. All right, so I guess I'm soldier.
You
what
said
I'll
it's
do?
All right.
Yeah. What is this? Some kind of black magic?
Dr. Meyer, hand me the stone.
Panel 3, exterior dig site, dusk. Jezidrow meditates.
Come.
Panel 4, interior, mysterious chamber. Meyer bolts forward, shoving Mueller to the ground.
Shoot him. Shoot them both.
Page 11, interior, mysterious chamber.
4 maybe.
Does it say panels 4, maybe?
Or maybe,
Yeah, I haven't
yes.
For fuck's sake. Panel 1, Meyer runs into the darkness, only the green glow of the Hecate Fusion Core visible. Muzzle flashes from the rifles send dots of light illuminating the soldiers. Well, then only the green glow of the Hecate Fusion Core isn't the only thing that's visible, is it? Panel 2, a German soldier is sucked out of panel by an unseen foe in the darkness. Bright red blood splatters across the black page. Yeah, that's not how 4-color process works. The black goes on top. So I don't know what you're going for there, but it might not come out. The panel 3, the
Also,
muzzle
I want
flash
you to know
of a
that
rifle. Sorry, what?
I also want you to know that red actually does not show up when it's so dark. It actually turns black.
Yeah. It would be like blood in 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns black.
It's black and darkness. Yeah.
In darkness, because it's the first color that you can't see in dark.
I was going more for Sin City look.
Well, also black.
Also
Yes.
black. But that's
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
fantasy.
But that's when you have a black page and it's just all bright red.
Oh, okay, but the color black is the same color regardless what it's up against.
Also, importantly for your purposes, the way printing happens is first they do a cyan plate,
Mhm.
then they do a magenta plate, then they do a yellow plate, then they put the black on top.
Yes.
Black, being darker than everything else, is going to make
Yeah.
it invisible if it's underneath it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, then there won't be black over the red.
that's not what your art direction indicates. Panel 3, the muzzle flash of a rifle lights up a soldier as he fires. Behind him from the darkness, 2 slender metallic arms grab his head, crushing his skull, splattering blood across the black page. Sure.
It's like
Panel
300
4.
style to me, I think. Like
Nothing, because there's only maybe 4 panels. Okay, we're
Right,
cool.
because I haven't
Yeah.
decided what panel 4 is going to be yet.
Panel 4 was a maybe.
Maybe there doesn't need to be 4 panels.
Yeah, maybe 3
There
panels
may
is
there may
fine.
not be. So
Maybe there only needs to be 1 panel.
Yeah.
Maybe none of those panels need to be here. Panel 1, exterior dig site, dusk. Jezidrow kneels over the hole, reaching down as Zombie Meyer hangs on the rope, holding up the glowing Hecate Fusion Core. How is a rope holding anything up that is also hanging down? What is happening?
The stone. Give it to me.
I feel like there's a lot of like.
Where does
yeah.
this rope? Where is it
Yeah.
attached to?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
if you see a rope on
feel
the
like-
ground, I guess it's holding something up, but
And I
also
feel
not
like
very high.
I feel like Meyer's response should be throw me the idol, or
Throw me the idol.
Yeah, I mean,
Throw the
taken
idol.
out of this
No time
dialogue.
to argue.
Yeah, no time to argue.
Panel 2, interior mysterious chamber. Mueller grabs Zombie Meyer, pulling him back down into the hole just centimeters from Jezidral grabbing the Hecate fusion core. Panel 3. Mueller looks up at Jezidral after stomping on Zombie Meyer's head, crushing his skull and splattering his braids across the ground under his boot.
You'll have to try harder, witch. I don't need no brains.
Panel 4, exterior dig site desk. Standing, Jezidral steps over the hole, dropping inside.
For a minute, I thought the whole
Flutters.
dropping inside her.
That is 2 verbs.
Okay.
They cannot both happen at the same time. That's 3 verbs.
The hole dropping inside. How do you step over the hole and then drop?
That's a good
How do you
question.
step while standing?
Yeah,
Oh.
he's standing. Jezidral steps over the hole, dropping inside.
How do you stand while dropping? It's a fucking mystery is what it is.
How
But I'm
about
sure John's
you
illustrator can
stand?
draw all 3
you
of those
step
things
over the hole
in a
and
single
drop?
frame.
Yeah. Jezidral steps into the hole. Jezidral drops into the hole.
Yeah.
Jezidral's skirt flutters as she drops into the hole.
There you go. Yeah,
There.
yeah.
There you go.
Page 13, panel 1. Jezidral lands, skirt still fluttering
All
in the
right.
dark hallway, hand outstretched. Background, Mueller runs into the black. All right. The glowing Hecate fusion core provides the only light. Well, it's not black. There's light.
How do you pronounce that? Ruko?
Whatever. You're good. You
Roko.
did great. You did great.
Panel 2. A hand of red chaos magic extends from Jezidrav's palm, grabbing the Hecate fusion core held by Mueller. Panel 3. Holding the Hecate fusion core, Mueller flexes his bicep.
Mm-hmm.
Aha.
All right. We're
That's
going for
fine.
some beefcake in here.
Well,
Well,
Panel
except he doesn't
4.
have any brains, right? Like his head's been smashed in.
I thought it was Meyer who didn't have any braids. Luckily, they have very similar names, so it's utterly
Meyer,
trivial to tell them apart.
yeah, Myers, the
Oh.
zombie. Muller's.
Oh,
the
okay,
one-
Mueller. Okay, you're right.
Muller's
you're
the
right.
big bad with superpowers.
Oh, you know what? I got those two confused. Never mind.
Luckily, they have very similar names, making it utterly trivial to tell them apart.
Yeah.
How
And
about
one
you
of them
call it
doesn't last very
Fuller?
long, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can call him Fuller. Just change it to an F.
Panel 4, the Ruko spell contracts pulling Jezidral forward. Panel 5, with his free hand, Mueller unsheaths his combat knife. Page 14, interior mysterious chamber. Panel 1, Mueller stabs Jezidral with the stomach, blood splatters dripping down her skin.
To challenge the will of the Swatsason is to challenge the will of the Almighty Creator.
Panel 2, Mueller drives the knife up Jezidrav's stomach, cutting into the underside of her breast. She vomits blood.
And so, is this like a sexy panel, or like?
I mean, knowing John's illustrator, it's going to be needlessly pornographic.
Yeah, like a
And
pornographic.
not in an attractive
Also,
way.
she's kind of useless.
Yeah.
Also, she just kind of like
Look, she. There have been plenty of panels of Jezidral just like casting magic and totally kicking ass and doing all kinds of amazing shit. So
this is just
this is
Hers are death.
exceptional.
uh-huh.
This is exceptional.
I'm shifting the power dynamics.
Yeah.
Okay.
She exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so I haven't read I
I-
haven't seen
I
the
feel like
others.
Palace was rubbed off on a little bit.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Anyway,
Maybe a little bit.
maybe a little bit. Yeah. Panel 3. No,
Panel
wait.
3.
Mueller.
Mueller pulls out the knife, taking with it chunks of bloody flesh, leaving Jezidral to collapses. Okay. Onto the ground, bright red blood pooling out into the black.
Burn in hell, Negro witch.
Panel 4, Jezidral alone in a pool of blood. In the black, surrounding her, 2 green glowing cat-like eyes appear in the distance.
Nice. I like it. I like the change. I mean, Jezidral's like,
She doesn't get stabbed often enough.
no, she doesn't. Yeah,
She doesn't what?
she doesn't often like get like,
She murdered 3 countries worth of people.
Yeah. yeah,
And somehow John's like, this is a redeemable hero archetype.
yes. There is that.
You know, I have spoken with many. Oh, never mind. Not gonna go there.
Alright.
It doesn't matter.
So, other people think Jezidro is totally cool in the gang and wanna like be your boyfriend kind of thing.
Nobody that I've talked to hates her as much as you two do.
Well,
I mean,
then
she's evil and stupid. It's hard not to.
She's what?
Evil and stupid.
I mean, so far she's done nothing. So,
Oh,
but this is
well,
the only one
well,
that.
okay, well,
This
Dude,
is the only one that.
Mind
is
controlled him as the
Jezidro
zombie.
is a long-standing character.
Oh, okay.
So she's here. Let me. Well, anyway, she's the character on the cover of the graphic novel that John sent.
Oh, is that the one with the skull? That's
The one with the skull covering
her naughty bits.
the vaginal
Yeah,
area.
okay.
Yeah.
Dude, but
yeah.
everyone likes her.
Yeah, everyone likes her.
All
I
right.
don't
She
know
summons
why.
a zombie horde and it kills a whole bunch of people.
Well, that's nice.
But it wasn't really her
She-
fault, or she was under duress.
Entirely
She was
her
feeling
fault.
bad that day.
She's feeling bad.
She was like, what was her stupid reason for it, John? It was a really stupid reason. It was
It's a
like,
revenge
oh,
story.
I feel like doing something magical. Let's just kill everybody and raise all the
No.
dead.
No.
So
She
you
was
went like
trying-
Scarlet Witch on her, like she just suddenly.
Yeah,
like, goes crazy?
She's very Scarlet Witchy, and that
So
you know, I was feeling bad, and I unleashed some magic, and a bunch of people died. Oh well.
Oh,
And she spends
Anyway.
5 issues running away from the problem she caused.
Yeah. So have we done
Wow,
panel
you
4?
guys
Oh yeah, we did. do
really do not.
Yeah, we
Okay,
did.
fine, whatever.
panel.
Page
Alright.
15.
Look, other people
interior.
like Jezidro, and that's totally cool. Although I gotta see, there's probably a difference in looking at like a really well-drawn, sexy young black woman
Uh-huh.
and just words on a page of just Jezidro. Oh, she summoned something and people died. Because if you're just looking at words, you're like, well, that's kind of not.
You
good.
guys have also been there for every iteration of the character in the story.
Yes. No, that
Other
is
people
also true.
haven't.
Yes. that is
And I
also
feel
true.
like that the character that she is in the final version of Angel of Darkness is definitely not the character she started out as, and
because of
I-
us.
largely because of you guys.
Yes, because of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I did
You're
make her
welcome.
fairly likable when I lettered the remix of issue 1, because she was very not.
She was not very what?
She was not very likable in the
Like-
original script.
Oh, okay.
I didn't. Well, that's because I didn't really change much about the script when I had it redone. So, anyway, that's my point. This
All
is the
right,
last
page
page.
15.
Anyways, Jezreel wakes suddenly, pulling off the sheet covering her. Why is there a sheet covering her? Wait, why is
She's
she?
in an
She was
infirmary.
sleeping.
Is the infirmary on a boat elsewhere?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
The Duke.
Yes. A large scar runs from her abdomen up to her breast. A doctor stands to the side, his back to us.
Easy there. The field surgeon cauterized half your lung just to stop the bleeding.
What happened?
Now she can't run anymore. That's cool. So
Yeah.
she's just gonna like ride like a zombie fucking zebra everywhere.
Just like I have her in the whiskey paint illustration. Yeah.
Well,
Well, that was a
Destroyed the,
panther, but
I
yeah,
said, what happened?
It was a saber-toothed tiger.
that's
that
right. It
one.
was.
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Saber-toothed tiger.
It's a
Panel
smilodon.
2,
Smilodon, yeah.
the doctor, his back to us, walks towards Jezidro as she rubs her eyes. Her vision goes blurry. How is anyone going to draw her vision going blurry?
Unless it's point of view. Yeah. You're down a quarter of your lung capacity, and there is some scarring on your heart from the triage.
You can make her vision blurry if you like.
You have a line, yo.
Oh, he's like, oh, okay. I have to leave. I can't stay here. Why can't I see anything?
Panel 3. We see only the doctor's hand as he touches her breast around the scar. Fuck off. Now it's a John Lamont script.
Yeah.
Of course.
You're not going anywhere until you pay.
Homage. I'm not fucking paying you that way.
The 2 squeezes.
What is that?
I-
I'm not fucking paying you. that way.
Apparently,
Oh, that
I
one.
don't know. Like,
Apparently, it's
it was
Yeah.
going to be something involving her boobs.
Okay. Oops.
panel 4. Jezreel's vision clears. The doctor is Arthur Ridley, her dead husband from Angel of Darkness. He stares daggers down at her.
Pay for your sins.
Arthur, but you're dead.
Now, did that need a sexual assault? No. No, it didn't.
It did not. Yeah.
No,
I'm going to have notes about that later. Panel 5. The demonic and zombified doctor, his hands around Jezidro's neck, chalking her, whatever the fuck that means. An evil smile across his face. The room bursts in to hellfire.
You should know, after all, you're the necromancer. Dun dun dun. All right, so I think that's everything. Yeah, to be continued. All right, John. Well, I'm gonna say I like the newly vulnerable Jezidro who got stabbed and then
Yeah, you
sexually
liked that
assaulted.
the last time I brought it.
What?
That's why. You liked it the first time I brought in her getting stabbed in the chest. That's why I kind of kept it.
Yeah, well, good. I'm glad we like the part where Jezidro got stabbed. Although Diane, not having seen Jezidro's mini ass kicking sessions, is like, this character's useless. She walks into a knife and falls over. So you could give a panel or two of her doing some magic juju stuff, like.
Well, that's all in the first half.
Okay.
This is the second half of issue 2.
Right.
That's kind of comes in when you come into the middle of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was fine with her walking into a knife and falling over. I mean, that's the part I remember. There's stuff happened before that. I remember less of that, but it wasn't horrible. So hooray. There you go. All right, Dan, what do you think? Good stuff. What did you like?
Good stuff.
All right, we'll come back to it. Okay.
I would like. We did get confused over Meyer and Mueller.
That's a constructive note.
That's a constructive note, but you could. Okay, fine.
Positive things.
Positive things.
Positive things. Danny, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You gave us 8 very effective pages.
Hey, 8 out of 10 ain't bad.
8 out of 10 ain't bad.
I say that's a B plus.
That's definitely an A where I come from.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. Constructive note. Go ahead, Diane. You've Mueller and
you got one page that's got way too many panels in it, clearly.
Yeah.
And then you got one page with some unnecessary sexual assault in it.
Yes.
Both of those need to stop.
Yeah. I don't know why that was there at all.
Well, I know why that was there. It was there since the John Lamont script, and apparently before he does anything interesting, he frees us up to something really fucking creepy.
I mean, look. First off, let me say, having known some people who work in medicine, all right, people fuck with your body when you're unconscious.
Yeah.
I mean, and in hospitals, they get bored. They do all kinds of shit that is completely inappropriate, but you're unconscious, so who cares? And it's kind of funny. So I'm not saying the doctor wouldn't feel her up, but I'm saying if he wanted to, she wouldn't have even been conscious for it. Like, he wouldn't wait till she was awake and go, by the way, I'm grabbing your tits. So anyway. But go ahead, Dan. You needless sexual assault.
That was it.
Okay.
Stop it.
All right.
That was
All right, there we
note.
go.
Stop it.
Oh, if that's the only note, that's
That's
easy.
the only note.
Well, mine was only like Mueller and Meyer.
Yeah.
It's similar. You should probably change the name to a Fuller.
Yeah.
Like Bob.
With an F. So.
Okay, there we go. All right. How about our next script? All right, we got La Vigilante, Primal Chaos, and Bombshell by Rutger Osterhoff.
I feel like Larry got to show up.
Oh, okay. All right. So
I know I'm calling him out here, but we love Larry and we miss him.
We do. All right. So then we're down to La Vigilante and Bombshell.
But like, he was talking about showing up, Larry. So like, maybe we should like figure out when he can and then save his.
Well, in part we moved it because I used to do the show a little later. We moved it a little earlier so that Danny, no, not you. Yeah, the other guy.
What
Larry.
Danny?
So Larry could show up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Larry going to show up?
I don't know. We'll ask him. He might.
I feel like we should ask him and try and get him when he shows up because that's a lot more fun.
Yeah, there we go. So that we can interact.
So, yeah. Sorry, Larry, we miss you.
There we go.
I mean, really, like, we should do the same thing for Draco as well, because
Well, Draco he was there last
No.
time.
he's always in the chat,
He
but
is.
never actually comes online. And I mean, like Xander, we make an exception because he's on the other side of the planet. I mean, that's a little hard to do.
As is Rutger Osterhoff. who's
So
in the
I'd
other-
say we should do those guys,
Okay.
and people that are on our hemisphere should really make it a point to show up if they want us to read their stuff.
All right.
I just think that should be a thing, because otherwise we're never going to get more engagement with people, and I think it's a good benefit to them to show up.
one would think. All right, here we go. We have Bombshell, written by Gerald Damon, story by these two are clearly like a writing duo, because I know last time it was these two. All right. So Bombshell, here we go. Who wants to read
I'll narrate.
Go ahead.
Can you zoom in a little?
Let's see. So control,
Yep.
There we go.
More?
He's learning.
There we go.
Like a
That should go.
velociraptor.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Fade in. Exterior desert day. Super Judean desert 2032. Two masked terrorists garbed in black robes stand at attention. The hot Palestinian dunes mirage in the distance. Jamal Abtier, 30, an assassin, stares emotionless into a digital camera held by a Western cameraman who records, a gun pressed to the back of his head. Yasser Shalah, the leader, 50, spouts his allegiance to Hamas. Oh, Hamas survived the next. I guess it is.
This
2020.
journalist is yet another example that America is excessive with its justification for being in the Middle East.
In front of them is an American journalist on his knees, hands bound behind him, dirty. A masked female, Leah Kalani, 23, stands next to him and holds a large combat knife.
Your desires are quite simple. Our oil reserves are central to your nation's future. You quadrupled your military here to bring peace and order after the Israeli genocide in the Gaza Strip, but this is a lie. Your main goal is world domination, and you will manipulate all those that oppose. For that reason, Palestine has drenched its soil in blood with many casualties caught in the crossfire. Our measures are extreme, but like your institutions, not in the name of peace, but in the name of economics. So that's quite a. I mean, it is both fiery and passive. Those are my notes on his monologue there.
Through Steadicam.
Let this man's death be a national burden on your soul. God is great.
Panning to the journalist's face, zooming in while Leah slits his throat. Exterior, moving over Seattle rainforest day. A red cabin perched on a slope is hidden deep within the green trees and moss-covered soil, a part of the world lost to mankind. Soulless. A blue pickup truck is parked next to the cabin. A fog crawls along the earth's wet surface. A rainstorm has just passed. Interior cabin continuous. Roy Hanna, 55, fit, is blindfolded while he field strips an assault rifle on an oak table. He assembles the weapon with speed and accuracy, finishes, cocks the rifle, aims, and dry fires.
I want to say
Roy.
that paragraph right there, completely free of any passives, and it's nice, it's clean, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. I wish they could all be like that.
Royce takes off the blindfold and drinks some whiskey from a tumbler. Hears a vehicle pull up next to his pickup truck. Looks out the window. Exterior cabin, day. Roy steps out on the porch and Michael Maynard, 30, Homeland Security, gets out of the black SUV. They both smile. It's been years.
How the hell are you?
Could be worse. Could be a hermit out in the middle of nowhere.
How's the agency treating you?
After you left, they couldn't be happier.
Is that right? Is it because you don't raise questions for debate, or because I taught you everything you know?
Some of that might be true, but I'm not the one who doesn't know how to use Facebook.
Wah, wah. Is that how we're going to win against the terrorist? Facebook?
We're assuming Facebook is still around in 2032.
Sure, why
They
not?
chuckle. They chuckle.
I'm the write a letter to someone kind of guy. That's less likely in 2032.
Yes.
Even the internet can't find me up here.
Not if Elon Musk has anything to do about it. The laughs subside, and Michael takes a deep breath of crisp air. He exhales.
Nice, isn't it?
Not like the desert.
So that's why you're here.
Michael pulls out his cell phone and slides his thumb across the display. He hits play on a video and hands it to Roy. Insert video. Yasser has finished his speech and Leia slits the American journalist's throat. Back to scene. Roy's eyebrows furrow. He hands the cell phone back.
Nasty stuff. Who's the American?
He's a journalist. Guy was just doing his job and got kidnapped in the right place at the wrong time.
Who paid for the killing?
The keepers of faith. Isn't it obvious? Allah. That brings me out here to you. How do I don't know why is my dialogue continued, but all right. That brings me out here to you. How do I say this?
Just say it.
The terrorist who did the killing, that's your daughter, Leah Kilani.
Roy's eyes widen.
Dun, dun, dun. How?
Back in the 90s when you were still active, that short romantic relationship you had with that Palestinian woman.
Claudia Nasser.
Roy leans against his blue pickup truck.
During our surveillance and research, we got a hold of her records, and her birth certificate had you named as the father, so we got a DNA sample of hers, and I got a hold of yours.
Roy is silent.
Does she know?
Michael shakes his head.
Where's Claudia?
She's dead. Died in an Israeli bombing of a Gaza city some years back.
Roy's face drops.
We believe that this is motive for her recruiting into the Hamas at a young age. A means to fight back.
When do I leave?
Michael smiles.
Tonight at 10:30 p.m.
Which he would actually probably be saying 22:30.
He probably would.
Exterior, Ben Gurion Airport, next day. They exit the sliding doors, and in unmarked white van sits idle. Roy hops in the passenger seat, and Michael gets in the driver's side, puts it in gear. Interior Jerusalem, undisclosed location.
Dun, dun.
Roy is in a concrete room, no windows. A 500-watt floodlight plugged into the wall gives the space depth. A large whiteboard surrounded by fold-out tables forms a horseshoe with chairs. State-of-the-art equipment is brought out over the tabletops. Military spec laptop, single-scope night vision goggles, a digital Nikon camera with numerous lenses. On the opposite table, an M16 with a scope, Spaz 12-gauge shotgun, MP5K submachine gun, and an HK USP 45. Camouflage Kevlar bulletproof vests hang on seats with bandoliers of grenades and flashbangs next to boxes of ammunition for all weapons. I kind of feel like you could just say that they're in a Spec Ops room or something.
Anyway.
Well, you could, but he
You could.
didn't.
Who's Michael? Am I Michael?
I think you're Michael.
This is the unit, Teresa and Chucky, our anti-terrorism exercise team.
Teresa Hamilton, 32, field agent, makeup-less, ponytail, greets Roy with a firm handshake.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Hanna. Who's Roy?
Likewise.
Okay.
Chucky Barnes, not to be confused with Bucky Barnes, 40,
Yeah.
technical support, unshaven, shakes Roy's hand.
Pleasure to have. Pleasure to have you on the team. You drink coffee?
Black, please. Where are we?
We're off the grid on this mission. The U.S. Embassy is a last resort, safe haven. Otherwise, being in the field is where the mission has kept us.
The unit nods.
Let's get to it. We're running on a clock.
Teresa turns on a digital projector. She presses a button on the remote, and the projector blows up an image of Yasser on the white screen.
Yasser Shala. He is a high-ranking member of the Hamas,
Yeah.
and has been linked to many assassinations, including the October 7th, 2023 massacre.
She clicks above. A Palestinian beauty magazine shows Leah on the cover, staring, exotic, sexy.
Leah Khalil
Yeah.
has had a winning streak of Palestine beauty pageants, no losses. I was reading this very magazine and recognized something about the eyes of Leah. I had Chucky run facial analyzing, comparing the terrorists video and Layla's magazine covers, and they were a positive match.
Good
Sure, that wasn't
eye.
all he was doing.
After that connection, I tailed her for a week, going to pageants and parties.
Okay.
Good for you.
Tell us your life fucking story, why don't you? God, get on with it.
Enjoy the good
Why
life.
can't you
Sure.
guys just bust them now?
Yeah.
Because they're on home turf, they can intimidate, kill, and buy off the authorities
So what's our operation?
to gain evidence.
Then why the weapons?
Last resort.
Roy points out Jamal on the projected image.
What about this guy?
That's Jamal Abu Tir, young Turk in Hamas. Also a reputed assassin. The guy gets his hands bloody, not just dirty.
Layla is 2 pageants away from winning the spot of Miss Earth pageant in New York City.
I just want to say, like, if we're in like a military setting and I'm saying that person gets their hands dirty, that it meant bloody. Right? I mean, it's they're synonyms in that particular context. Hey, we were talking about you earlier. We decided you should come on this stream so we can give notes on your script. Anyway, if we can get her on U.S. soil, then we can make the arrest for the murder of an American journalist, and it will stick.
Okay, so why are they in Jerusalem right now then?
Because they're gathering intelligence and tailing him and following him to like.
Why just like send her an invitation to the fucking pageant? Get whatever.
Yeah, have a pageant that's so in a U.S. Extradition country,
Yeah,
and invite her to it, and bam, you got her. Bob's your uncle.
there
Roy
you go.
strategizes.
There you go.
Okay, hold on. Roy strategizes. Right. Okay, the next pageant is in 2 days. Why does Roy already know this? He's a fucking snapping man.
He's
Leah
a big
needs to
pageant
hear
fan.
that
All right.
win. Does she have an entourage? Who is this guy? Oh, I'm gonna have so many.
Yes.
notes.
Yasser and Jamal.
Exterior, Israel Broadcasting Corporation. Wait, no. Day. Leah's limo is parked out front, and the limo driver smokes a cigarette while he waits. Down the street, Michael comes up behind him on foot, wearing shades. The limo driver is approached by an American couple, Chucky and Teresa.
You take our picture.
The limo driver takes the camera and snaps away while Chucky and Teresa hold each other, smiling. Michael slides a Slim Jim into the back seat. Doors, windows, seal, and unlocks the door. Interior limo continuous. Michael gets in and closes the door behind him. He has seconds to find a good reception for the bug. He places it underneath the metal minibar shelf, holding the liquor bottles and glasses. Oh, so all the clinking will definitely not interfere with the audio reception.
Wait.
Into the
Who's Michael?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm Michael. Roy, copy. Also, we have him saying, I've been working on the script for the last 2 months called Phantom Squad. For next week, I have one for Halloween. If you guys are going to do a Halloween script special event, I mean, I haven't looked at a calendar that far in the future. Do we have Halloween coming up on a Tuesday?
I don't know.
Anyway.
My phone's somewhere else.
No, I
All
think the first. That's October 1st.
Yeah.
Halloween is on a Thursday.
Okay.
That's what I thought. I
Then
knew it was a weekend.
no, we won't be doing a special Halloween event, but we probably will be doing scripts that week. Probably, yeah. All right, where were we?
Roy,
You just said Roy copy.
Roy
and then
copy.
you
Yes, I did.
failed to
Of
scroll
course.
down.
Yeah.
Roy says copy.
Copy.
Exterior, Israel Broadcasting Corporation. The limo driver looks back behind
one
him
more,
at the
one
limo.
more. Sorry, one more.
Chucky plants a big kiss on her cheek, and the limo driver takes the picture. Michael steps out and makes his way down the sidewalk, blending in with the locals, unnoticed. I feel like all this cloak and dagger spy stuff should make them like CIA spies or something, not special forces or whatever.
I mean,
I'm confused.
I don't care too much about their sponsor organization's alphabet, right? Like, who cares?
Yeah, I guess so.
International police.
Yeah, Interpol.
Yeah.
Who cares? Yeah.
I mean, yes, you're correct. This story has bigger problems than that. Interior, Israel Broadcasting Corporation studio. Laya, stylishly dressed, sits across from a female interviewer as they wrap up the conversation in Arabic. Behind them sit Yasser and Jamal, just what the script needs, more talking.
What
Okay.
are your thoughts on the world perception of terrorist groups like Hamas that claim Palestine is their home to protect against all costs? And does that affect your role as a representative?
We both share a love for our country, but their techniques are misguiding the world and our public opinion to further an agenda that is forcing a social cohesion in Israel. Thank you. Or should I say, thank you?
It's definitely underlined. All right.
Yeah, I don't know what
I
that
don't know.
means.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know. Right.
It's possible that was supposed to switch back into English because earlier it said that they were speaking, but then you should just do a parenthesis that says in English, if that's what you're intending to do. Exterior, Israel Broadcasting Corporation. Leah, Yasser, and Jamal walk out of the entrance, and the limo driver opens the back doors for them. Interior, unmarked van. Day, Teresa and Chucky stalk from the front seats. See the entourage get into the limo. Michael and Roy sit in the back. Roy has headphones on jacked into the military laptop and listens to the audio feed from the bug. The limo pulls out into the street, busy traffic.
Go.
Chucky throws the van in gear and they pursue. Interior limo continuous. Leah settles in, kicks off her heels, and lets her hair down. She drinks a bottled water as Yasser and Jamal fix themselves drinks.
I hate interviews.
You did great.
How long till we get to the Gaza Strip?
Not long. We'll meet with the pageant judge first at his hotel, then eat.
Interior unmarked van, same. Roy records every word as Chucky steers through the streets.
Don't lose her.
We're about to bust her for beauty pageant fraud.
I guess.
Exterior Gaza Strip hotel night. The limo parks out front and Karam Raf? That's probably
Yeah.
Raf. Pageant judge, well dressed, comes out of the building and gets into the back seat of the limo. The unmarked van parks not far behind under the streetlight.
Well, that was 10
Stop here at
pages.
11.
Whoops.
Are we going to read 11?
I mean,
We're on
It's a
11
new
now.
location.
yeah. All right, we'll stop at 10. How's that? All right, we'll stop at 10. So we have a beauty pageant queen who's also a terrorist, and what
I don't know how you get from that, but all right.
Because
because
the script says so.
she is a terrorist, right?
Yeah.
We got that part. She participated in the decapitation.
Yeah,
of
didn't
the-
she like murder a dude on camera?
Yeah, she
did.
straight up murdered a dude for Hamas. She's a terrorist.
Okay.
Stop morally equivocating. She's a terrorist.
It's like, all right, beauty pageant.
But she's also smoking, and so she's kind of like Mia Khalifa, I guess.
Well,
If Malia Khalifa was a terrorist,
well, no, Mia
Is
Khalifa.
Malia-
Yeah, Mia Khalifa if she was a terrorist as opposed to just
right?
a Hamas vocally supporter of.
mhm.
Sympathizer.
Sympathizer, yes. There are some hot chicks who are pro Hamas, and why can't they be in beauty pageants and decapitate America.
I think we've lost the plot. Now is the part where anybody else says nice things about the script. I'll go next. This had 2 memorable moments, including Leah just murdering a dude and a deeply vexing scene in an Oregonian cabin.
Which deeply vexing scene?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to give more detail about that later when I give construction.
Oh, okay.
But I definitely remember both of those scenes.
Diane, what good things? What do you got? Nothing. All right, pass again. Okay. You don't got a lot of good things there. John, how about you?
Let's see. It had a lot, mostly active voice, and had some it was a pretty, I'll say the premise is unique and interesting, I think. Former special forces dude finds out his daughter is the enemy. Not I don't if the writers hold with that, I think it'll make a very, very interesting story. If it turns out that she actually is some, MI6 spy plant because they can't, because they're just doing it for drama clicks, then, that'll be a little old hat. I've seen that before. But if they actually stick through with this, then I think that'll be kind of interesting to explore.
All right, constructive. Whatever. We're off to the races with. I'm just gonna think of her as a Mia Khalifa chick. But all right, go ahead, Diane. You got something to say.
It's just very wordy. We do not need to get in and out of all these limos. Plus, how do you tell the difference between all these limos?
All right. Too many limos for Diane.
Well, it's just like you're getting from a scene, you're in another limo, and another limo, and then you get into then the scene ends, and then you get into another one.
I think it was all the same limo.
Is it this?
It could all be the same limo, yeah.
No, because there was 2.
Well, it's not that. I think what Diane is leaning toward is that they're in one location, people stand around talking. Then we go to another location and people stand around talking. Then we go to another location where people stand around and talking.
There was one location.
Maybe someone's on a note. They need to make things visually interesting, but they have exposition scenes.
Yeah, it's a lot of exposition. It's just like they're just a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I feel that why can't we just? I mean, the intro was fine.
Yeah,
I like the intro,
right.
and then like all the rest of it has been just talking.
Yeah,
so talking, even an interview.
So
talking.
My constructives are gonna be, you're dealing with a fairly explosive topic, and like the death scene you're referencing, that was like an actual death scene, like a guy really died in that way, and like that gives the scene like a certain heavy, kind of like using 9/11 in stories was kind of like, oh, you probably shouldn't do that, like too soon.
Well, didn't he reference the whole Hamas attack on Israel from last year? That
maybe
was in there too.
Yeah, 2000.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, these are real incidents and people get very charged up about them, and people just might feel like there's the tonal mismatch between the heaviness of the incidents and people really dying, because like, in like Back to the Future, the Libyan terrorists are like cartoon terrorists, like they've got like bandoliers of like bullets everywhere, and I want to say, and like but here, like, this is a real topic, and these are real people who are
and real people are dying.
Yeah, and real people are dying, and like people get very polarized. You're either pro-Palestine or you're pro-Israel, and I don't know. I feel like what we're accomplishing in terms of the story of well, there's a hot chick who's a terrorist and we're gonna nab her at a beauty pageant doesn't necessitate going so heavy. Yeah, that's what I want to say. There we go.
It kind of reminds me of this giallo film called Blood and Black Lace, and it's an Italian horror film that takes place in a fashion show, like a pageant.
Yeah.
And but you have a murderer who's like killing all the models, and it's like that. But that didn't have necessarily any politicalness on that part. It's just, it is what it is. It's a murder mystery. So, but kind of vaguely remembers me of that because of the pageants. So beyond that, nothing else. So
Yeah, I was going to also make a comment about the whole politically charged nature of what you're going for here. I think there is a way to do this, and I think that. Give me 1 second.
whoa.
Nope, that's the wrong chord. Okay. I think the way to do this, I think, is it's called coding. But basically you pull similarities from what it is you're trying to say without actually saying it. I think why make it Hamas? Why can't you just create random jihadi terrorist organization that you make up, and then have it take place in what was the name of the country, and what was it? I forget what movie it was. I don't know if it was a James Bond film, but there was a movie that they basically made up a country that had an Arabic sounding name, like Sandahar or something like crazy like that. And it was really just a made up country that they were supposedly fighting over, and that was the whole premise. I think that would help with, especially with what Preston was saying, with a lot of the heaviness of it. And I think you'll do yourself a huge, it'll be a benefit to you to really look at it from that perspective, rather than try to make it so close to reality. And I think that there's a fine line that you can walk there, and I don't think you're that far off from it. And I don't know if you're intending to get into, we'll say, social commentary on, if you feel you have a unique perspective on the current goings on right now, and that you feel that you have something that you need to say about that. But I think you're going to end up hurting yourself more than helping yourself by, how you say, choosing a side. Because what'll end up happening is that you're going to piss off a bunch of people for choosing the wrong side, and you're going to piss off a bunch of people for not going far enough in the side that you chose. And then you're going to be left with a very small group of people that actually are even willing to stick around and hear the story that you have to say, especially if the whole story just happens to be about a father and his daughter. I mean, if that's the main story that's going on here, then I think the other stuff doesn't even matter. You could literally just pull a George Lucas and put them on some foreign planet, and make it about two alien races that are battling over a planet, and do the exact same thing.
Star Trek.
So I was referencing like Star Wars being a reference to the Vietnam War.
I never understood Vietnam in a Star Wars reference, but all right.
No, it was Vietnam and World War II. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So,
To Star Wars?
Or
whatever.
You never noticed that?
I don't get no Vietnam, but I mean,
Let John finish.
Like Aliens is a Vietnam War one.
Go ahead, John.
Let John finish.
So anyway, I think you'd be better off not being so close to reality in a fictional story. If you were basing this on a real story of real events, that'd be totally different. But since you're not, I would highly recommend that you steer far away from that. And yeah, I'll just end it with that because I think Diane and Preston mentioned all the exposition well
Yeah.
enough, because
Yeah.
that's a major problem too. But I
Yeah.
think you need to fix the other stuff too.
And yes, you do have scripts that are based on real events, but like people got opinions on them, and those movies go into it trying to monitor, like, okay, let's put out a nuanced message, like Sully, that movie with Tom Hanks where they did the pilot where they struck two birds and he had to land in the Hudson. There was a whole movie about that, and like I feel like it was fairly nuanced, obviously pro the pilot, but why wouldn't you be pro the pilot? He was a hero. He saved people, and hooray! And that's a decent movie to put out. Whenever you're talking about terrorism and the Palestinians and the Israelis, I mean, we've already
that's
said
a different kind of real events.
Yeah, a different kind of real event.
That's centuries.
And do we need to invoke like that polarized an event to talk about a plot involving nabbing a beauty queen contestant?
Speaking of real events, I think this is a good jumping off point. So, okay, I agree about the sensitivity of the subject matter, which is an obvious problem. And, despite how much I am probably the person who is likely to go there the most, everyone else has already gone there, and I don't need to jump on that again. What I will say to real events is that very much like the last script you brought that had a university that acted like a high school in America, I don't think you understand your subject matter enough to tell the story the way you're trying to tell it. Rather famously, Israel don't need no America to deal with their own internal security.
That is true.
And rather famously, Israel's really quite good at their internal security. So your entire premise has a whole bunch of problems there. Speaking of which, and if I may add a bit of a joke, I don't know if this is a very good story about late-term abortion either.
There you go.
Because we have this guy who lives in a cabin in the woods who just found out he has a daughter, goes to Israel to kill her, and suddenly knows all about beauty pageants. What is happening? There is a certain level of low-key insanity that is absolutely required for a good action or spy movie, and I think it's a pretty thick line, and you have definitely crossed that line into utterly bewildering. Like, who is this guy? Why did he agree to go murder his daughter? Who thought it was a good idea to hire him to murder his daughter? And when did he learn about beauty pageants? And why did he go to Israel to engage in a plot about beauty pageants in order to get her away from it? Like, you got this location that you just don't use. So there was no point in them going there, because as I was saying when we were reading it, can't they just send her an invitation?
Yeah.
So none of the plot has any reason to happen as far as I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
And you also show this woman murdering somebody on page 2, which means she is utterly irredeemable. And so, like, where are you going to go from here, huh?
Yeah.
I have no idea, but nothing I can think of makes any sense.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of problems with your setup, even aside from the fact that your choice of location and real events and engaging with an ongoing major war is problematic. Your narrative setup is equally problematic for all of those personal character-driven reasons that John alluded to.
All right. How about La Vigilante, or do we want to call it a night?
Let's go. I can do one more.
One more. Okay. La Vigilante. So,
ready for more La Vigilante, John?
I think
Sure, let's do it.
On this one.
It's like the saltine crackers of our weekly meeting.
Yes. All right. Let's see. Share screen. Where is it? Present. Share screen. Window. All right. So we're starting here on page 19. I feel like we should open right there. Oh wait, hold on. Control.
Oh, look at you.
There we
I
go.
mean, I don't know. There's a John Lamont line right above that.
It's AI.
No, that's
Oh.
a Moby line. Moby's all
That's-
about the AI.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. But AI doesn't like talking about itself. Okay, I don't think I've read the narration for a while on this one.
Go ahead.
Interior, Jim Brasileiro. Afternoon, Katrina works out at Coach Domenico Sousa's gym. The gym is also the headquarters for the Knights of Constantine charity and is covered with Catholic graffiti and a Brazilian flag. Katrina kicks
I think having a flag that says the Knights of Constantine charity, or maybe a banner, would be a visual representation instead of just telling.
No, I think you just need to tell the illustrator that and hope it comes through.
Well, I mean, this is a screenplay.
Oh, yeah. Well, we just say what it is. So that way all the readers know, and then hope the audience figures it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's obviously how that works.
How do you have Catholic? What's Catholic graffiti?
That's a good question. I don't know what Catholic graffiti is.
Like that, I want to tie you up like St. Andrew.
Oh, wow. Wow. Here we
What?
go.
That was pretty good.
That was good, actually.
Yeah.
So, okay,
What
Coach,
Catholic graffiti would be a Hail Mary full of grace?
I guess.
Yeah.
A lot of crosses.
Or maybe the Jesus cross thing. I don't.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
like-
really graffiti.
Then
is
you
it?
would have like what? No, you can't just have a cross. You can't have that. No, it's Catholic.
Well,
So therefore, you have a
It's gotta
stick
be a
figure of
crucifix,
Jesus
man.
on the cross. So,
Well, no, I was referencing the statue that's in Brazil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe they painted that on the wall with spray paint or something.
Sure.
Oh.
Sure.
I mean, but we're going beyond graffiti now. Now we're talking about art. Like they did like a.
Yeah, that's a mural, not graffiti.
Yeah,
that's
like
a mural.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Coach, who's the coach?
Me. Okay. Gats, you really into it today. What's up?
Another day, another Chica's missing. I thought after a Vero case, these maniacs would get a clue, Coach.
One falls and three more are ready to take their place. All right. These streets are a breeding ground for depraved souls and their unquenchable thirst for sin. Unfortunately, the women fall victim.
There has
Wait,
to be more.
How come? What if the women are depraved
It's
souls?
not possible, John.
I mean, because
No, it's just literally not possible. Everything Katrina does is right, 100%, no matter what. Especially
no, I don't
when
just
she
mean
murders
that,
people on the
but
street.
but the implication that the women are falling victim implies that
He's
there
like-
are no women that are depraved souls with their unquenchable thirst for sin. Like there are depraved female souls. and
Only
with
in
an
your stories, John.
Yeah,
True,
like,
true,
that's
okay,
more in the John
correct.
Lamont universe.
Maybe I'm projecting. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I'm
yeah.
projecting.
Yeah, John's
Please
like, wait a minute, you're passing up an excellent plot point of depraved hot women out to.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if you
Sexualize
do
and
want to make this a comic and
victimize
you do want it to be
I-
successful
oh,
and bring
gosh.
in
This is what I have to look
Yeah,
at.
and I think giving generalized statements about all women will totally appeal to a certain niche in the comic book market.
There you go. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So, okay.
Also, it is polite to start with a hermeneutic of trust.
Thank you. That's there has to be more that I can do about all this femicide.
It's okay to feel that way, but never forget that one good deed and one life saved is well worth it. Signaling your presence has made things tougher. Duro.
People are looking for help from La Vigilante. The hype is all over the net after the rumble in the Neon District.
You really showed off there.
Coach
Is
holds the heavy
that
bag
with
with
the
one
crotch,
hand.
the crotch thing?
Oh yeah, when she attacked with her crotch and
Yeah.
gave all of
That
those
pussy
totally
slam was
not prepared for
amazing.
Mark. With Coach holds the heavy bag with one hand as Katrina strikes it with a hook.
Humph. I could have done better.
I want Coach to be holding the heavy bag if she slams into it with her crotch. Like
That's her
that's a
signature
killer
move.
move, right?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Like, listen, all right. I used to do
Stop
martial
it.
arts or something like judo or something. You know, if like shoulder throw was your thing, you do like hundreds of shoulder throws in an evening, right? You know, you've got that motion down. If her thing is the pussy slam, I want to see her practice. All right, that's all right. Anyway. Not to mention, it makes a better visual. There you go. Oomph. I could have done better. Yeah. You took out both targets and recovered some pretty good data.
Anything I should know?
Nothing on Nadia, but we'll go over it soon. It's the Bazadora.
Coach pats her on the head like a small child and steps away behind her as she continues her onslaught on the heavy bag. Maybe that's where the pussy slam comes in.
There we go. Come on, let's see those legs work.
Oh, it is.
There your strength.
Katrina kicks the heavy bag.
You know, Coach, being
Conductora?
conductora principal, I'll be able to expose more with what?
Ooh, expose it all you like.
With what?
Good, but the forces behind the evil in this city will devour you if you take one misstep. I've seen it before.
The victims of femicide need justice.
And they'll have it.
Well, what about the victims of all the other kinds of murders, huh?
They don't care. Nobody cares
oh,
about
yeah,
that.
we don't care about that.
Yeah. She has her group. This is her group. And they'll have it. Now, about this Mendoza girl, we're going to do this as discreet as possible.
Understood.
I'm talking pitch black, no media, search and rescue. Too much attention can mean life or death.
Got it. Yeah!
Katrina lands a final blow on the heavy bag. Did he just say
Zoom out.
she was discreet after she started a street fight, beat up 20 people, and attacked people with her pussy? That's okay. Whatever.
What I want to see.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
What I want to see is like the news report of somebody going, "Yeah, man, she just like mauled the guy with her bag. I saw the craziest thing I've ever seen."
It's like that RoboCop guy where they always interview some homeless guy. And like, I don't know, man. It's totally a free country, man.
Yeah.
Zoom out to exterior gym Brasileiro. Flashback. Interior Iglesia San Juan. Day. We open in the dimly lit hallway of Iglesia San Juan, located atop an elevated step next to a small lake. The church has a Gothic aesthetic with a full cathedral. There's a garden to one side and a cemetery to the other. The sun shines through a tall glass-stained window. Kid Katrina sits in the shadows with her arms around her legs, sobbing. Young sister Teresa, a nun in her 30s and dark hair, consoles her. Okay.
So we're inside a church.
Dark hair, being an inanimate object, shouldn't console anybody.
Well, also,
okay, well, hold on a second. So we're inside the church, but we know that there's a lake, a full cathedral, and a garden, and a cemetery. All of those things are outside, and yet we start out inside the church.
Well, yeah, we should just know that. That's
right.
We already know that because it's Iglesia San Juan. Don't you know that already?
And
you do now.
Teacher, and if the nun is wearing a habit, how do we?
Yeah, why
does
she have dark? I was about to say that.
No, you should already know that, John.
Like, we don't see her.
The illustrator and the reader have X-ray vision. That's how you can know all of these things.
It's a young sister, so it's not a full habit. There's actually like a novice nun, so you can say novice, but she's a young sister. Yeah.
If she's a sister, I mean, she's taken the vows, so she's an idiot.
And she's in her 30s, so wouldn't she already be like full on?
Oh, absolutely
committed. I mean, like, we're not talking like she's like 19, 20, or even in high school, like practicing. Like, anyway, I'll be the nun. Mija, why are you crying?
I don't belong here, Teresa. I want to see my brother.
Finish your class and we'll go after. Nico's on his way and he can join us.
I want to go now. I want to see Tony.
Teresa bends over to level with Katrina.
In moments of grief, life can seem unfair, but you need to find your strength. In the midst of hardship, look for hope. Like a flower in the dense jungle full of predators, poison, and the unknown.
Katrina continues to sob because that was a miserable speech that wouldn't cheer anybody up.
I want to see my brother.
See this flower here, La Santa Rosa.
Teresa demonstrates La Santa Rosa. It glistens with dew and is a grady hot pink pastel color.
I have no idea what that means. Focus on it and say
that flower's
this.
so hot. That flower.
Like neon pink.
Yeah.
Focus on it and say this prayer. Divine Mother, lend me your grace to recover. Lord, forgive me. I repent and show mercy. Amen. Wait, why is she asking for forgiveness if she did nothing wrong? Like, she's not responsible for her brother's death. Makes no sense.
Yeah, that's a logical question, which...
Yeah, you're right. I so totally forgot what story we're reading.
Yeah. We could bring that up later, and I'm sure we will the 30 times we have to read through this passage to get it even close to
Hey,
snap.
you know what? No, I'll save it for when I'm saying
Save
my
it for
nice
later.
things.
Yep. Kid Katrina repeats the prayer along with young sister Teresa. Kid Katrina stares teary-eyed at the flower.
It's beautiful.
Now finish your brother, and you can take one to your brother. I mean, finish your class, and you can take one to your brother.
Yes, he will love it. Thank you, Teresa.
Kid Katrina runs away. The rose withers. Fucking hell. What a miserable flower.
Also,
okay,
why
I'm
is
going to
this
stop
kid-
everyone right now and say that is an excellent simile for this story, is that you are barely keeping it going while we're paying attention, and the second we stop, it just falls apart.
Also, shouldn't
Harsh.
she be calling her sister?
We're gonna have
She
a whole
should, but
time
we're not
for
going to go there because that
constructing
requires a lot.
All right,
whole
all
time.
right.
Exterior graveyard sunset. Young Katrina stands at her brother's gravestone holding a single flower. Is it the pink rose flower or a different flower? The gravestone reads, Antonio Mil Flores, a loving son and brother to us all. Young sister Teresa is standing behind her, and in the background is Coach smoking a cigar. End flashback. Let's fucking go. Exterior, Santa Rosa City, Highway 99. Katrina dressed in something she can tear off easily because
Yeah, that's my favorite.
That's my favorite kind of clothes.
News reporters and superheroes riding on her electric motorcycle that emits a cyan hue. She cruises the highway, and we see the city backdrop. Cividad Santa Rosa is a flourishing city vibrant with a cyberpunk aesthetic. Its population consists of a lithium and metals manufacturing workforce, as well as a tax haven for startup tech firms, all eager to exploit money-hungry politicians. After this has
I
been
feel like
wait,
some
wait.
of this is not drawable.
many of the veterans staged security companies in the city and surrounding area to secure the mining, refining, and shipping operation.
How do
We
you draw
see
that?
all of this from the highway at speed.
From her Tron cycle.
Yes, from her Tron cycle.
Her Tron cycle.
Now it's time for some totally necessary voiceover.
Okay.
Let's go.
Voiceover exposition. Let's go.
Okay. I'm coming. According to the report, Nadia went to the rodeo. Oh, rodeo. Why is it capital?
That could be rodeo, but it's probably rodeo.
Okay.
Yeah, it probably should not be capitalized.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
When it's capitalized, it's rodeo. So went to the rodeo with Dinah and met up with the others there. They decided to go to an after party, but first took Dinah home. The cab service used was unknown. It could have been any of the new startups. With today's encryption laws after the AI crash, it's impossible to get details from her phone. Dinah should have more answers.
She zips along the highway. Exterior, Dinah's house, District 3, Haciendas Royas. Night, Katrina pulls up to Dinah's house in District 3, Haciendas Royas. She knocks on the door. Someone peeks through the window curtains. It is dark inside. The door opens, and Tina's mother, Doña Clara, an old, grumpy woman, stands.
There.
There.
Okay.
Uh,
What do I do both?
no, somebody else will do it.
John will do it.
¿Quién? Oh, buenas noches.
Buenas. I am Katrina, a private investigator. I'm here on behalf of Nadia's fam.
Look, I already spoke with the authorities.
I understand, but we'd like to get as much exposure as possible to have a better chance of recover.
Well, you came to the wrong place. What
Please,
does the private investigator want with exposure?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah.
Please, just one question. I need a description of the cab that picked her up that night.
Donna Clara takes a couple of steps forward and shuts the door, I guess, behind her.
Oh.
She rode with a gentleman. They dropped my daughter off and left.
Can you describe the vehicle? Something, please.
Dinah, a tall, thin 19-year-old, appears behind Donna Clara.
Did she reopen the door?
Nope.
No,
just appears. Dinah just
She
appears.
just appears.
That's what it says. It says right there. She appears behind her.
Yeah. Dinah teleports in. Is this a sci-fi
Go
story?
through
I'm
the
okay
door.
with it. Maybe everyone's a superhero and not just Katrina.
Who's going to do Dinah?
Preston is.
I know you. You're part of the morning news show.
Hi.
I am also a private investigator and a reporter. And did I mention a vigilante? Oh,
Shush. Right there.
Eres la conductora del noticiero por la maniaca. Oh my God, Ma, why didn't you say something?
It's serious, mija. Please don't get Dinah into more trouble.
I promise, but I need something I can use to find Nadia.
Please bring her back. Here's a picture we took before she left. You can see the red pickup.
Katrina reaches for the phone. There's a red pickup truck and someone waiting inside.
Did you show this to the police?
Of course I did, because all red pickup trucks look identical or unique, and they would know exactly what it is from this. No, because I didn't want her to be a target. Nadia started hanging around the wrong crowd, and that's why I didn't let Dinah go to that party.
But this could really have helped the investigation.
You have no idea how it's been lately. Those thugs, the maniacos, and their turf wars. Look at what happened last night in the Neon District.
I understand.
So, when the SRPD interrogated us, I simply told them she dropped Dinah off that night and left in a cab.
Oh, yeah.
Voiceover.
Voiceover makes sense. Damn.
Why are you voiceovering?
I don't know why you're voiceovering.
Why are you voiceovering?
Okay. Makes sense. Damn maniacs keep the public in fear. That's how they maintain their power.
Now, if only she said that out loud, she might get these people on her side.
Yeah.
Who's
Dinah?
am I Dinah? Yeah, Mom's right. Soon after her disappearance made the news, I started receiving threatening messages.
I'll bring her back. I promise. Here's my info. We'll talk later.
Katrina hands Dinah her phone back. Whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean.
Her phone back. Yeah. The O is a typo. Got it.
I didn't know Katrina ever had her phone.
She did, in fact, grab a phone to look at the photograph.
Of the red pickup truck, which you poo-pooed.
Yes.
Behind Katrina, a red pickup truck pulls up with music blasting. The door opens and out walks Jesse, a thin man, 25 years old, covered in tattoos, wearing a tank top, jeans, and boots.
What'd you say to the cops?
Huh?
I'm talking to you,
Nadia?
bitch.
Who's Nadia?
Nadia's the one that's kidnapped. Why
Oh
is
yeah,
Nadia
okay,
have
so
a
I guess
line
I'm
here?
Nadia. Huh?
Oh, sorry.
I'm talking to you, bitch.
Jesse stressed toward the house where Katrina, Dina, and Donna Clara stand.
Don't you talk to her like that. Where's Nadia? She's right there.
Katrina places her hand on Dina's shoulder.
Please leave immediately.
Don't get involved, Dina. Let's go. We need to talk.
Two thugs get out of the pickup and walk towards them.
Dinah, get back.
But do these people know each other's names already? Because the audience doesn't.
Jesse.
Get her.
No!
Thug 1 approaches.
Out of my way!
Katrina head kicks Thug 1 and he immediately drops.
Oof.
Oof.
Thug 2 wastes no time and takes a swing at her. She dodges and headlocks Thug 2. Jesse grabs her by the hair.
Ah.
Jesse?
Ha.
She kicks Thug 2 out of the way, then spins and elbows Jesse behind her, and he releases her hair.
Don't touch me. Ugh.
Thug 2 pulls a gun.
Stay right there.
Katrina kicks it out of his hand.
Yeah, that's a lot of heat.
Damn it.
She's so badass. Wow, look at
A
that.
lot of key eyes, man. It's a lot of key eyes.
Now it's time for my patented pussy slam.
Then spin kicks him and he drops.
Oof.
We hear tires squealing as the red pickup truck, with Jesse in it somehow, speeds off. Katrina runs after it and tosses a tracker onto the truck bed. Katrina quickly turns to Thug 1, who is waking up. She jumps on him and proceeds to interrogate him.
Donna, Clara, Dina, call for help.
Katrina proceeds to interrogate Thug 1.
Where's Nadia? What's his name? Talk.
Thug 1 is unresponsive. Didn't he just become responsive? Whatever. She smacks the thug back to life.
I don't know. I don't.
I think that was John.
Katrina breaks his finger.
I'm sorry,
End scene.
John,
No,
okay.
oh my god, there's more. Danya Clara calls for help. Dinah's frozen in place. A small boy is watching through the window from inside the house, steps out of the window. What? And jumps on Thug 2, smacking with a broomstick. What? He's wearing a neon LED mask that mimics his facial expressions. Ha ha.
Spill it. John is.
His name is Jesse Gomez. He said we were just going to scare Dinah.
Katrina breaks us.
Where's Nadia? Where did he go?
Where are the other trucks going?
In the daytime, right? Just to clarify. Thug 1 cries and writhes on the floor as Katrina bears down on him with her full weight. Oh no, it's a ground pussy slam. Police sirens can be heard in the background, getting closer.
He never mentioned her, please.
Police cars pull up. Katrina walks towards them and points at the criminals. Thug 1 and Thug 2 are arrested as Katrina speaks with Donna, Clara, Dina, and Chico.
No
Right,
se
because-
preocupe, Donna Clara. Tito Asteria bien.
Thank you for your help today. I'm so glad the police don't have questions for you.
Well, especially when they rolled up while you were breaking some guy's fingers.
No,
Just torturing.
you totally broke that guy's fingers.
Two of them.
And a kid just jumped out of a window.
With
And
broom.
confessions
so
under
badly.
duress
This
and
kid is
confessions
having
under
committed
duress
suicide.
are always admissible in court.
Well, she doesn't need it, and she doesn't need admissible testimony. She's an investigator. She just needs the info. So I'm fine with whatever. But
She's like a weather reporter. Katrina deals
During the
in front of
daytime.
boy.
Hey, Carnino. What's your name?
The boy lifts his neon mask. Yo soy Chico.
Thanks for your help, Chico. Take care of your mom.
All right, that's it. La Vigilante. We got past
10 fresh new
10
pages,
fresh
I
new
know.
pages.
That's awesome. I love it.
right? What a great palate cleanser.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I mean, look, we had some stuff. We had La Vigilante. Last time she was beating maniacos. This time she was beating thugs, and that's cool. She broke their fingers. She interrogated them. She roughed them up. We had her training with Coach, and Coach was giving her some wisdom, and she was like, "I'm gonna stop those people from femicide, and I'm gonna save some women." And she went out and she found some women and she saved them. So,
Yeah.
Which you did.
well, I mean,
Well, she
was
the
talking
Donna
with
She was
Clara.
standing around, and then some people got out of a truck, and then she assaulted them.
well, they got out of the truck. We knew that they were bad perpetrators.
Oh,
Because
that's
of
true,
photo,
because all
right?
red trucks are full of bad guys.
Well, the guy kind of announced himself as a villain.
Also, they said that where's Nadia, but then you had Nadia that says, "Huh?"
We saved that for constructors. What did
Okay.
you like about the story?
It has a little less exposition than the last one we read.
Very good. Very good. All right, John.
I like that it was new pages and wasn't the same ones that we've been reading the last few times.
All right.
Um,
Hard, tough crowd tonight. Danny, go ahead.
I really loved the detailed scene descriptions.
Oh, the lithium and the metals. I actually did like that very much. I like her Tron cycle for whatever reason.
It's because it's a Tron cycle.
It's a Tron cycle. It's cyberpunk.
Yeah.
The entire city was cyberpunk, man.
The entire city is so not. It's so not a cyberpunk story.
That's what the description says.
I know, but we're ignoring anything about cyberpunk anything as we give notes on this at this point. I'm sure.
But
Well, there's
also,
nothing.
Because there's nothing cyberpunk about it whatsoever. And actually,
there's
it being
not.
cyberpunk makes it worse.
yeah, because there's a red truck. That's not cyberpunky enough.
Maybe it's the red
stealing-
Cybertruck.
It's stealing the cyberpunk veneer without actually
In order to tell a bad Western, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
without referencing any of the themes that make cyberpunk what it is.
And hilariously, the themes that would make half of this story utterly pointless.
All right. I guess we're on to constructive. Danny, go ahead. All right.
Fuck. Okay, I'll go first.
All right.
So clearly, this has been edited because Nadia was only in the scene for one line. So good job on editing. This was utterly batshit. Like literally within 5 seconds of being told to maybe tone it down a notch, she goes randomly just interrogates some strangers. For some reason, they talk to her.
Tortures.
And then she's like, "That's okay, I'll protect you." And then instead of being like, "Yeah, how are you going to do that, bitch? You report on the weather," they're like, they trust her.
Yeah.
And then she just beats people up in a place that you've already established has fucking police drones. And the police don't even arrest her. They don't even talk to her. What is happening? Like, you can't tell us shit and then have that not be the shit that you're giving us. Stop it. That's all.
I want to see Detective Columbo interrogate her and be like, just one more question. Is that when you assaulted the man with your vagina?
And then she gives a shitty agree. She's like, I broke 2 of his fingers with it. Oh, wow. and for the record, she's also wearing tearaway clothing, none of which tear away.
Yeah.
God is a real thing.
And absolutely.
And she's in a physical altercation. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like you're setting everything up and none of it pays off.
Yeah.
So everything is just a waste of time.
Also, that you totally think that Donna Clara with that outfit would totally tell you everything. Yeah. it's like yes, I'm not answering any questions.
About your lost daughter? Yeah, just tell her everything.
Yeah, tell this woman who's dressed up that way. like everything. Sure, I totally trust her. So also, that I think we've already commented on the boy that went through the window with a broom.
The window. The boy.
And the little girl who appears out of nowhere from a closed door. And also the Nadia thing is like, where's Nadia? And there's the line, of course. But I'm also going like, I agree with you when Jesse rolls in with the red. Why is it that they did not tell the police about the photo? It's like you suddenly remember the photo?
Like the red truck is clearly harassing the neighborhood. They know who this guy is.
And the mom did not want to tell the police about this red car, and like did not want to tell the police that they're linked with the daughter being kidnapped.
So, all right, what I want to say here is that I feel like we're not necessarily building, right? This is kind of like one issue so far. The first half of it, she fought the Maniacos, and now she's fighting the thugs. And are the thugs and the Maniacos affiliated? Because I didn't get that.
Yeah.
You haven't really provided like these guys are both henchmen for the main villain. Like who's that? I don't know. Like we have what is she really investigating here? Like Coach, between the Maniacos and the thugs, we have Coach and her training scene, and Coach is providing the plot elements of, I read there's like some women dying or some shit down by the thing. She's like, well, hold on, let me go check it out. So like, basically, as far as I can tell, the first half of this comic where she's fighting the Maniacos are not related to the second half where she's fighting the thugs. They seem like completely independent. And now we're just like, we have a whole comic book of, a female Batman with a torture fetish beating up NPCs that was not really taking me anywhere.
See, I think you forgot a very important adjective there that would tie it all together, because this is nihilistic. Nothing matters.
Yeah.
Things just happen. Nothing's connected. No detail matters. No continuity matters. She just goes and beats people up because they don't matter.
That's why she's a vigilante.
That's why she's a vigilante. And, once you accept that's what the story's about, like, it's a lot better.
I'm just gonna go seek out
nihilism. Nothing matters.
This horrific postmodern nihilism of like the Fox News cycle of oh, what's that? Yeah, sure. They're just eating cats and dogs this week. Let's go beat someone up. What's next?
Yeah,
it's just that the story.
Oh boy.
All right, I'm gonna shut up now because I'm talking too much.
All right, I think John, unless you have anything, or Diane, unless you have anything, I think we've talked about La Vigilante, and now we've gone over pretty much like the entire first comic. So
that's the first comic.
I mean, that's like I think that's like the end of. I don't know.
I mean, if he was going to do this as a comic, yes, this would be pretty much the end of issue 1.
Yeah, this would be the end of issue 1. And if this was a movie, then this would be close to the end of the first act. And that's where I got to say, at the end of the first act, I don't know what our conflict is.
I don't know. I don't know where our conflict is. I don't know exactly what the mission is, other than we got to save women. But save them from what?
Yeah.
Save them from what? From what?
Save them from thugs.
But the thing is that we don't know where these thugs are coming from.
They're coming from the NPC generator.
They're just like
they're coming from inside the house, Preston.
Well, I mean, we had a villain sort of in the first one that we read.
I guess,
but didn't he like die?
La Bestia.
Oh yeah, there was that cyberpunk person who got destroyed by the pussy.
Yeah, the guy that got knocked out. It was the big guy. I don't know.
That was a pretty good bad guy for like a few pages.
Yeah, anyway.
Or maybe half a page.
Oh.
I mean, if you trimmed out all the fat of that fight scene, it'd be about half a page. Maybe a page.
Okay, yeah, sure. Well, okay, it's still 2 pages, though. You're going to give, like, some splashy intro to the temporary villain. I'm going to be generous and give 2 pages to the temporary villain.
That's fine. Yeah, I tend to agree. Like, this is the end of issue 1, and we don't even know what what our objectives are, what our hero motivations are, what their obstacles are. Like, really, what is stopping Katrina from, like doing her to just, kicking ass all the way up the food chain to the top boss, like. Oh, and I was going to also say, it's very convenient of these thugs to show up out of nowhere to be tortured and give that valuable plot data
That'll
to
take us to another scene.
that in order to keep the story going. Because I mean, if they didn't show up, I mean. Because didn't they kidnap Nadia, so they know where she is? So why are they showing up here asking for Nadia? I mean, if they just didn't show up at
you're
all.
only saying that because you think anything matters.
But if they didn't show up at all, then
literally nothing would happen. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And Katrina wouldn't get the information that she needs to move to the next scene. So characters acting stupid is not a good way to advance the plot.
Okay, but here's a question then for everyone. Is it still a plot if everyone has holding the idiot ball?
If everything what?
If everyone's holding the idiot ball.
Oh, holding the idiot ball.
Yeah.
No.
Because like she's an idiot for doing any of this and being like and just assaulting people in public. They're idiots for showing up. The kid jumps out a fucking window. Nadia shows up. Like the police don't even arrest her. Like the coach thinks she's going to not just be a giant liability to whatever the fuck his mission is. Like the nun, like just makes her cry with a flower that like everyone constantly is holding the idiot ball.
Yeah.
In a particularly weird and cruel way. It's a very, very odd story.
I mean, it reads like a parody of a superhero story.
It reads like a satire.
Like it reads like a satire. Like that whole training scene with Coach and she's like, "I have to save women, hiya!" And he's like, "I've heard this," but like and he's like, it's very cliche. Like the whole thing is very
But like, it's not cliche enough. If it was more cliche, it would be better.
Yeah.
If it was played tongue in cheek, if it was played like that type of like parody satire, I think it would be a better thing. So is because you're playing on the tropes, but then again, you could always like do the opposite of that as well and make it a little more interesting. But really, I'm just judging from the one that we did the previous, is it 2 weeks ago? Whatever the previous Love Vigilante and everything. I'm just going. I still do not know where this is going at all. And if you want it to be, say, like Nadia is missing, shouldn't that be also in the news casting?
It was in
there.
Yeah, it was part of her news broadcast in the when she went out of the alley and had her dream sequence.
Okay, so it was there.
Yeah, but because this 10 pages, this is where part of the editing problem came in. This 10 pages actually used to be before the other scene. He actually presented these 10 pages first.
Oh, okay.
And then he decided to switch it. That's why that Tron Cycle City intro block is still there, because that was from the first time. That used to be page 1.
Oh, neat. Okay.
Wow.
And when he changed that to page 19, he didn't edit that block out, but it's still there. And there's some other things that are there. But yes, this used to be the intro in the first 10 pages. But then he switched to the other one and decided to make that the first 10 pages. So this got pushed. That's how I knew that during the newscaster exposition that the whole Nadia thing was going to be a subplot, because this is his A plot.
All right. So I would just say the story suffers more than anything, first and foremost, from a lack of a villain, a meaningful villain. Like, if you give me a meaningful villain with some kind of like motivation, sinister plan, well, now a story is going to take shape because we have to stop that. You know?
we need a
Yeah,
big bad.
yeah.
You need a big bad. You need a Blowfill.
So,
You need a kingpin.
yeah,
So something like
yeah.
the guy who's pulling the strings of all these thugs, of somehow where do these thugs come from? Who are they taking orders from?
Right.
What's the motivation of kidnapping Nadia? Therefore, why are they keeping her? Where is she being held? So, and then trying to figure out where that is, and then you can do like a what is it? Game of death, which is and then have like her going up the ladder to get to the kingpin to find Nadia. And then you could have like fight after fight after fight, I guess, if you want that. So, which works better as a movie than a comic. But
yeah, and also why is she a news reporter still doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make the story better at all.
No.
It actually regularly makes the story worse.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give you a challenge to actually edit/write something. Give us like 5 pages next week of some version of this, no more than 5 pages, where everyone acts like a human being, and without insane plot contrivances that follow logically from the previous 10 pages.
There we go. I'm going to
pages that don't suck.
Yeah.
And that'll like really help you here, because like moving pages around is not solving any of your problems. You got to rewrite this stuff, and you're not really doing that.
Yeah, I'm gonna repeat what I said a few times a few weeks before, and if you don't do it, I'm gonna probably steal the idea, because even though it's based on yours, but I really think you should. The warehouse scene that you wrote, and I know I mentioned this before, so I'm going to just say it again. I think that your opening should be at the warehouse scene. Like I said, she shows up in full vigilante hide
costume
mode.
Yeah, costume, yeah.
Well, no, hide mode, like Jekyll and Hyde, like full vigilante hide mode, and works her way through the docks to try to get to some objective, an objective that's easy to maintain. My suggestion was people in a container being trafficked. There's a ticking time clock. That truck is going to be loaded off from a ship to a semi, and it's going to be going out the back of the warehouse. And if she doesn't get to it in time, those people are going to be trafficked deeper into the country, and she's never going to find them. And she's got to get there, and she's got to get them, and she's got to get and save them. And on her process of getting there, whether she saves them or not, she stumbles into the A plot. Like maybe she, like the big bad can be there at the warehouse and saying, who is wrecking my shit? Find this person, kill them. And that way you can escalate as she's moving from the exterior of the warehouse to the gate, then the gate to the front of the building, through the building, out the building, to the docks, past the building. You do this in layers, and in every step, it gets harder and more difficult for her. She saves them or she doesn't save them, not necessarily important, but she stumbles into the A plot, which could be Nadia being kidnapped or whatever. And she thinks, okay, maybe if I save this one person, I'll save whatever. And then after that particularly thing ends, she wakes up in a ditch, butt naked, and doesn't remember anything that happened to her, just like a Jekyll and Hyde plot. And maybe she's got bruises all over her, and she's trying to figure out what the hell just happened. Maybe she's got a strange tattoo or a scar on her body from Hyde that gives her a clue, and then she goes and investigates or something along those lines.
Yeah, John, I think you're just writing your own story right now. That would be kind of cool, though. You should really write that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, maybe when I'm finished my card projects, I'll start working on that story.
All right.
I'm tempted to take these pages and just rewrite them, because they are so insane. Like, seriously, like, your characters need to act like people. You've met people before, right? Write characters who act like people.
There you go. All right.
And really,
Yeah.
that's simple as just trying to understand each character's motivations.
Yes.
What does every person in this scene want? And are they working toward achieving that goal? Every single person should have a motivation. And I think if you think that way, it might help. Even down to your thugs. Like, what do they want? Like, who are they as a person, as a character?
And by the way, we really want you to come on. So in the Discord and stuff, like, let us know, and we'll try and schedule some time to go over your script live with you present. Same thing for Larry Holder. We're trying to get you more people on the stream. And those are all the scripts we have for today. Then.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome.
Right, we did 2 hours. That was plenty.
Yeah. And I signed a contract on Friday to make a movie.
Mm.
Ooh, congratulations.
Yeah. I wired off some money today. We're going to start production. Diane's working on storyboards. Exciting stuff. So, anyway.
And so far.
John's offered to be associate producer.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And actor. He's thinking of the Edmund role.
I don't know.
Either that or-
I mean, if it weren't international, I'd want to work on your movie.
There you go.
I mean, I still want to work on your movie, but I'm sure there's some.
I mean, it will be distributed internationally, but it's a Western, and like sometimes Westerns do well internationally, and sometimes they don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So,
yeah.
Maybe I should find a way to work on your movie.
Well,
fly to Texas.
Arizona.
I'd fly to Texas to do a feature.
Sure.
Oh, you're filming in Arizona.
Yeah. I'm not
Sure. I've never been to either of those places. It sounds delightful.
Okay. Well,
it's hot.
Canada.
Canada. He's from Canada.
Okay,
he's up in Montreal.
You're saying I can escape Canadian winter and also do a movie?
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
mean,
Yeah. All right. Cool.
I'm not seeing what the problem
deserts
is.
are pretty cold, dude, but not as cold as Canada. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. When I get more info on, because I asked the guy, I'm like, I know a lot of people who want to be like crew actors and stuff. Like, where should they send their resumes? He's like, give me a couple of weeks. So yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah, there you go.
Audition like everybody else.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Good night, everybody. Might have more scripts next week.
And more people.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.